Willpower. What a troublesome word. Those with ADHD in particular supposedly don't have enough. Fight more, do the thing you don't want to do. But what is this willpower thing anyway? Welcome to the Rhythms of Focus podcast for wandering minds who are tired of feeling that they have to force themselves to make things happen. Maybe know that when things line up well, that tendency to wander actually becomes a powerful wave of focus. I'm Dr. Kourosh Dini, fellow wandering mind. It wasn't that long ago that I struggled to make things happen, whether it was to remember when to pay a bill, do things over time, or look at a list without feeling repulsed. Fast forward through years of study and practice, I can now not only deal with the world, I can be creative, playful, and engage in the ways that make sense to me. I can be a doctor, musician, father, still play games in the evenings. I've created this podcast to share these ideas so you can do the same, hopefully with a lot less of the troubles I needed to go through to get here. Whether you have ADHD, deal with anxiety, or just suffer from a powerfully creative spirit, I invite you to join me in this weekly podcast to start finding your own way to a calmer, more intuitive space. Please note, I'm not functioning as your doctor, psychiatrist, psychoanalyst, therapist, or otherwise. This is here for education, if not entertainment, and I do hope you enjoy it. Have you ever had a cut and then knew while it was healing that it was important not to pick at it, but there was some part of you that just felt like, I just gotta scratch it. And when you hold back, you just keep holding back. Is that willpower? Maybe we can define willpower as the ability to deliberately do or not do something despite an unaccommodating, if not deeply opposed, emotional world that surrounds it. But is that really the focus? To do things we don't want or not do things we do want? The emotional world is a swirling world, at times chaotic, at times peaceful, sometimes vengeful, throwing one wave after another at us. Is it a lack of willpower to fail to stand against some typhoon of emotion? I think there's something here, some tension. When going with the flow, we follow some line of least resistance, a summed vector of internal fields, a boat floating wherever the sea of emotion takes us in this moment. But we know that it's important to occasionally hold back. When we're having a bad day and someone asks us for one more thing, we hold a certain tension to not respond. When meditating and trying to hold on to awareness itself, we hold a tension. When we try to understand, build, create, maybe hold two ideas in mind simultaneously, once again, there's this tension that we're holding on to. But holding that tension seems about as possible as chronically holding a 50-pound weight in the air. At some point, we lose it. Consciousness being the way it is, we don't even recognize that we've lost it. I don't know about you, but even though I've meditated for many years, there's still plenty of times that I wonder, wait, where did I go? Pushing ourselves through a difficult task can be similar. Somehow we lose track, exhausted. There's something that happens when we can hold tension. We discover, if not create, options. We have this option to place ourselves on alternate paths. We realize that there's more than just the path of least resistance. As such, we can create more accommodating situations, make better choices. We can even create supports for ourselves. When practicing at the piano, and only going with the flow, I engage in some empty form of play, playing the same piece I know all too well, doing the same licks over and over. But in that pause, I see other paths. This I know, this I don't. Here's a book that I can look at. Here's an idea, an area to study. How would I even do that? Options we did not have before begin to form. And from here, we can seek the windows of challenge within the difficult. We can simplify things, shrink them down, slow them down, whether in piano or in therapy or in hobby or at work, whether habit or craft, to resolve, if not dissolve, the difficult into the newly easy. Mind can discover paths of tension to now release. In other words, What we seek is not necessarily more willpower, some finite resource if there ever was one. Instead, we look to practice using our limited reserves to pause. To pause for leaving that itch unscratched, to decide what we can to support ourselves. We place ourselves in situations showing up to a visit. We create our environments to support us, reducing our distractions, so that we can find ways we can support ourselves so we don't need to hold ourselves back so much. And that way we can engage with our nature of curiosity, if not grace. The following piece is called On a Dare. It's an improvisation. It'll never be played again. I hope you enjoy it. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, kindly subscribe, rate, review with whatever app you're using. If you're on the Apples, press the Apple buttons. If you're on the Spotifys, press the spots. If you're on the YouTubes, press those things, whatever the things. And if you're feeling especially generous, consider leaving a review. Maybe mention your favorite piano piece or just say hi. Your support helps more wandering minds find this podcast.